as you can see here, this is this as you may recognize is a DJI gimbal. And unfortunately, the gimbal went to its great beyond. I have so many good memories between this gimbal and I. We went to Disney World, Disneyland, we even rode the Amtrak. So unfortunately today, when I was cleaning out my space, I heard a loud kaplunk, a thunk, and and I actually thought it was this. Well, as you can see, this thingy lost 3 of its 4 turrets, which is also really sad. So I thought, hello, is anybody here? Hello, James, good to see you. Hello, Matthew, woo! So unfortunately, this thing lost. I'm not sure if anybody has heard the first part of the memorial, but for those who just came on in, well, as you can see here lies a DJI gimbal. This gimbal and I went on so many adventures. We went on the Amtrak, we went to Disneyland, Disney World, Napa Valley, San Francisco, Los Angeles. We had such a good and amazing time and an amazing time. And unfortunately, like most good things, it came to an end. So here is the gimbal. And unfortunately, it went to the great beyond today. Hello, Max Moss, it's good to see you. Hello, Keith. Hello, James. Woo! So, there lays the gimbal. And once again, YouTube is doing its thing, which says that 0 people are watching, but I see a lot of people in the chat. And unfortunately, with this gimbal, it unfortunately did not make it through today's cleaning session. While cleaning out my space, I heard a loud kaplunk. I thought it was either thunder or this that fell off the chest door again. And as you can see, this thingy is missing 3 of its 4 turrets. When I first got this thing in December of 2025, it had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 turrets. Hello, Jalen. Jalen, good to see you. It had 4 turrets, and it was really beautiful. Unfortunately, it took a few plummets into the Twilight Zone, and why is there a military jet outside of my window? Why is there a military jet? It took a few kaplunks. It took a few kaplunks, and now it has only 1 turret. So I thought that was the. Oh, thank you so much, Mess. Oh, so unfortunately, it took a fall, and I thought this thing was the one that took the fall. Or one of my ornaments that took a fall. But no. And you can see here, the ornament is broken here and here. A lot of things just break in my life. But lo and behold, it was this thing that took a loud fall. And now it no longer works. Same with my antique slot machine. May my slot machine Ellie rest in peace. While trying to power up Ellie the slot machine, she just wouldn't power up. So now I don't have a slot machine or a gimbal. So long live the gimbal, and may this gimbal rest in peace. As suggested by Chaz, we should hold a memorial, so which we are doing. If anybody has any good memories of this DJI gimbal or any favorite adventures or things you saw, please be sure to let us know, so we can let the gimbal know that it's been loved and cared for. It's so good to see everybody. Woo! And we are also going to be doing some live art requests too. So if anybody has anything that they would love for me to draw besides the Hollywood Tower Hotel, please let me know in the chat so we can draw it in honor of this gimbal, this DJI gimbal. Another thing is that was kind of sad is I had this gimbal and I was in Disneyland. I was actually in front of Mission Breakout when this happened. I put on my gimbal and I was getting ready to go, only to realize that the gimbal went and it went baloney on us. Plus, I was missing the little magnet thingy that attaches to the thingy, so I ended up having to go through DCA handheld, meaning that I was holding the phone steady as could be, steady as I could get it, when I was writing Mission Breakout, seeing watercolor. And it was definitely a really good exercise. As you can see, I do have a callus right there. This is a callus. This, as you may recognize, is not a service elevator, but a callus, I promise. And Robin says, that gimbal was good. It got us through Disney live streams. It sure did. Which makes this gimbal very special and precious. I consider this gimbal as sweet and as charming as this Hollywood Tower Hotel figurine. This one too. This one too. The ornament that lost a few of its turrets. And this thingy too. Unfortunately, the bottom got broken, so it no longer has a bottom. It got snapped in half. Oh, I do really love my DJI gimbal. I got it back in December 2025. And yeah, and unfortunately, we're not be getting a new gimbal for Disney World. However, there is a setting in Prism that I can hold my phone really stable, really steady. And when I'm holding my phone, it does not do the wobbles. It may be a little wobbly, but we don't have a gimbal. We also have this thingy too, where we can put the phone on this thing when we eat. This is our backup gimbal right there. This is our backup gimbal. This thing right there. Mama doula. Mama doula. Mama doula. I ran out of things to say. Mama doula. Mama doula. And let's see what Medulla has to say for the gimbal. Amazing gimbal. You were amazing. Amazing gimbal. You got us through so many evenings in Epcot. Back in December of 2025. You were right there. And right as Tony sat down to eat at the quick service restaurant in Epcot by the Japanese Pavilion, the gimbal, I knew you really enjoyed the sights and sounds as Tony used me as the gimbal. It was just really amazing working with you, spending time with you. May you rest in peace, gimbal. Oh hi, I'm the tiny towel, and this gimbal is way taller than I am. It's really wild to think that gimbal is taller than I am. So come on, gimbal, it's time to do some artwork. There you go. Bye. Hey, what do you do? So that was the gimbal. And I'll zoom on in and do some live art requests, why not? Just like last week, we usually take our favorite art requests, and that's good to ask. That's a good question, Matthew. If you're curious, or if anybody is curious, this right here is my towel. Let me show you, everybody. Best thing on the planet. Why is this thing not zooming? Wait, I'm not on Prism. I'm on YouTube. Oh look, it's a Christmas tree. And why is this tripod falling apart? Everything be falling apart. So this right there is a Tower of Terror replica that you can actually assemble from the Disney experiences, and it actually took me 6 hours. Originally, I was going to build it and destroy it with a ski boot out of pure agony and frustration. However, I ended up befriending the tower, and her name is Beth right away. So there you have Beth the Tower from Disneyland Paris. This is her rooftop. Whoop. And this is what Beth looks like. So I'm probably going to build I'm probably going to try my hand at making a second Tower of Terror replica as Beth Jr. So this is the one tower model. But going to ouchie. But going to the other tower models, as you might see down here, whoop. Let me get things going again. So right here, yeah, we should definitely put the gimbal in the shoebox and put it in the backyard. Good thing is it rained a bunch today, so now it's nice and humid, not moist. I promise not to say the word moist. So right here is a 2022 Tower Funko Pop model, which was constructed to celebrate Disney World's 50th anniversary back in 2022. I ended up getting gifted the limited edition with the golden Mickey Mouse Unfortunately, I cannot find the Mickey Mouse as of now, but we have a broken towel, so there goes the towel. Whoop. This is where you can find the Hollywood Tower Hotel, and also this little tiny towel ornament. I'm not sure where it came from, but it was definitely from either a Disney game, a board game, or something. I have no clue what it is. Really hard to see in detail. Does anybody have any live art requests? Otherwise, I can keep rambling about the Hollywood Tower Hotel for hours and hours and hours and hours on end and sound like a Jungle Cruise skipper. So right here, speaking of Jungle Cruise, is the 12th wonder of the world, the front side of a Hollywood Tower ornament that you can get at Disney's Hollywood not Hollywood Tower, Hollywood Studios Tower of Terror gift shop. Whoop! Oh, I can do EL losing. Oh, that's so amazing. That's so amazing, amazing mess. I can do EL losing his tail and Bumper and Zambi together. Oh, that's so cute. And yep, its mods is also getting replaced by Tangled Attraction in Disney Tokyo Sea. Rumor has it that its mod is actually getting torn down and will be replaced with a Tower of Terror styled Tangle Drop Tower. That is what I've heard from Disney by Matthew allegedly. Everything we say here is allegedly, not a fact or an opinion, in my opinion, or allegedly. This rooftop thingy. This rooftop thingy is called a speckled tower. It has 4 speckles, kind of hard to see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see right there, it has 4 speckles, and that's why it's called a speckled tower thingy. And also over here, speaking of tower figurines, I got this. I forgot. Wait, I got this during either Christmas. I'm trying to remember where I got this from exactly. This is a Tower of Terror 50th anniversary plushie, and it's made for people. It's made for anybody's age 0 plus. So this is what the little plushie looks like. Plush, plush, plush. All I can see is opening up the plushie and putting a dog squeaky toy inside of it. So when you carry the plushie, it goes squeak, 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 squeak. Oh, this way, I'm not. This is like, I, I never thought that somebody would make a stuffed animal building thingy. So what's really wild about this stuffed animal of a building is that this building is made out of concrete, a metal cage and stucco, but yet here it is, a nice towel squeezy scruffy thingy. I actually recommend cleany stuff to clean the thingy. And now let's do some artwork, shall we? Because of Mama Doola, Mama Doola, Bumpy and Thampy together. Not Bumpy, not Thammy. And yes, yep, we should draw the gimbal getting buried in the rain while being smashed by a ski boot. Alright, no, here you go, James, just for you, real quick. Then we'll get back to the program after. No, here you go, just for you, James. Just for you, James. This is what a gimbal looks like when it's getting buried in the rain by a ski boot out of somebody who's very frustrated by technology. And technology has been really frustrating me all day long. So here is what I think a ski boot looks like. Here is a ski on a boot, and here is a sock. Because for me personally, I usually like to go skiing when wearing socks. And here is the gimbal. Whoops, that looks like a selfie stick, which is not allowed in Disney, so whoop. Here's the gimbal getting smashed out of frustration and agony. Hello, Keith, it's so good to see you. I do remember you. Remember me on an Amtrak. Remember me. So here's what it looks like. Here's what a gimbal looks like when it's getting smashed by a ski boot in the pouring rain, the pouring Florida rain. I'm singing in the rain, allegedly. I'm singing and it's pouring rain. So there you got a gimbal getting destroyed by a ski boot. Oh, my heart remembers me with my sad guitar. And next up is Bumpy and Thampy. Got it. So here we have Bumpo and Thampy. Here we go. I also do apologize for saying Mas. I honestly really am missing some Amtrak right now. What I really miss about Amtrak is just being able to wake up to a brand new view, or just being able to meet new people in the observation car. I also just really miss the mountain. I also just really miss the scenic views of Moab, Utah, and like the play tops. I forgot how to say it, but I also just really miss all of that stuff too. And yes, I can definitely play. I can definitely draw you as a hockey player. Disney by Matthew, and also Disney by Matthew. Do you have a favorite hockey team? Hello, Shelly. It's good to see you. Next up, we're gonna be drawing EL losing his tail from us. Hello, Miles. It's so good to see you. I'm curious, Maya, but what do you enjoy drawing too? I find it so neat that you do artwork. That's awesome, man. Woo! How's the Florida Panthers doing this season? I do know that the Avalanches are in the Stanley Cup playoffs alongside the Golden Knights, and I forgot who else. Hello, Shelly. It's so good to see you. And also, Moss, I'm curious, but what do you miss the most about Amtrak? I'm not sure why, but when I first saw Bambi, I thought that Bambi was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but as an animated reindeer, until I saw more of the movie. I've only seen the first 5 minutes of Bambi, so I'm definitely behind the times. Oof, that really sucks, Matthew. I was also really hoping that the Anaheim Ducks would make it, but they didn't make it either, which was really gutting. It was really disappointing not to see the Anaheim Ducks get into the season. I was really rooting for them too. And I was also rooting for Pittsburgh. What I find interesting about drawing Bambi, what I find interesting about drawing Bambi, what I find interesting about drawing Bambi is that what I find interesting about drawing Bambi is that Bambi does have a bunch of tear shapes, and most Disney characters, if you look very carefully, are made out of S's, curves, and tear shapes, just to make it easier for the animators to animate and for the characters to flow. So here we got ourselves a Bambi. Aw, thank you so much, Robin. Mama Medulla. I'm curious, but when it comes to Bambi, what got you into watching Bambi? If you don't mind me asking. Of all things, I used to have Bambi on VHR tape, and unfortunately, my curiosity got the best of me. I actually opened up the Bambi DVD case, and lo and behold, you know what I did? Is I opened up the case and I saw the VCR cassette. So I'm like, perfect. That's gonna make some really good camera film. And I just started pouring out all all the VHS tape, only to realize that I can actually use it as camera film, as refillable camera film in my little disposable camera. So that's what happened to Bambi and Dumbo. Is it got used as camera film, unfortunately. This is a very sad day and time to be a VHS cassette tape in my household when I was a kid. And it was also around a time when I got really mechanically curious and I began ripping things apart just to see how they would work. And long live the VHS taste all day. Hello, Gizmo, so good to see you. Long live the VHS in the days of being able to actually see an animation on a cassette tape and CRT and with vacuum tubes. So you got yourself a Bambi and Thumbo. Bambi and Thumbo, I promise not to make you into camera film or try to use you to make a text-to-speech programmable robot. Hello, Chaz. It's so good to see you. Woo! Happy Sunday. Hello, John. It's so good to see you. How are you doing? You came just in time for the Gimbal funeral. Mama Medulla. That's so neat. That's so neat, That's so neat to hear, Matthew. And I'm wondering, where do you get your VHS tapes from? And next up, we are drawing ourselves some ER. I forgot who asked for ER losing his tail, but if you say, but please be sure to say who you are or forever hold your peace. Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. So this is what happens when ER loses his tail. Same with me. Same with me losing my entire gimbal today. I also lost my slot machine, Ellie. She doesn't power up anymore. So long live Ellie, my beloved slot machine. And also, and yes, thank you so much, John. Right now, we're gonna be drawing Eon. This is me drawing. Unfortunately, I'm not ChatGPT or AI. If I was AI, I'd be able to draw 50,000 Eon right now. But because I'm not a computer, I can't draw 50,000 Eons. Oh, I'm curious, Mouse. But what do you like about Eon? So this is how I usually go about drawing Disney characters. Is I start with their heads and I just do like a really rough outline of like their body, and then I go in and then I swoop on in and add in some details. I also realize that most of what I'm saying kind of does not make a lot of sense, but that's how I talk. That's how I yammer and yap. So I'm curious, how's everybody doing on the Sunday? I woke up to a gigantic rainstorm pounding and pouring thunder, which motivated me to clean my space, only for me to break the gimbal and the slot machine. So long live the slot machine. Oh, that's so sweet, Moss. He is filled with love, but sometimes he needs to be alone, but still loves everybody. Oh, how sweet. Sundays, I can honestly relate to ER. I do experience a lot of gloominess and sadness throughout my life. So, yeah, so I just have to lock myself in my room and just hide for days and at times. But yet when I'm ready to party, I'm living it up and I'm going to the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Hello, Jen. So good to see you. Happy Sunday. Woo! Happy Sunday. Fun day. Sunday. Fun day. Let's party. And it looks like it's raining outside, so we may lose connection. Wah, wah, wah. Unfortunately, James, I was getting my machine ready to go live on my second channel, Summer of Simon, just to showcase some antique slot machine action, and the machine wouldn't power up today. It would actually power up. It said that it had a bill of value date on AM. Then the machine just refused to work after that. No more machine first, no more slot machine. Down to slot machine, gloomy, gloomy day, which is perfectly fitting on a rainy day with ER. I always give ears a little incorrect. Ears go out, not in. This is me when I'm like, oh no, my slot machine broke. Oh no, my gimbal broke. Gloomy gay, gloomy ER. And it's totally okay to feel gloomy and sad. Sometimes I do have to talk to people when I'm really sad and gloomy, which actually helps keep me in like a better mood or being able to problem solve. Other days, I just gotta vent. That's how my mind works. So here you got a gloomy ear losing his tail, a Bambi and a Thumper, and that's good to know, Moss. I use your advice to count to 7 and let it go. It saves me big time from the wild and stressful times. That's very true, especially when things get really stressful and really wild. Hello, CGL, you came just in time for us to draw Disney by Matthew. Disney by Matthew. Disney by Matthew taking on the Stanley World Cup. Woo! Hello, in the podcast. It's so good to see you, and I hope you have an awesome evening too. And unfortunately, you cannot have a selfie stick or an extendable tripod in the park. Thank you so much, Richard. I really love seeing your Winnie the Pooh. I really love seeing your Tigger and Donald Duck artwork tonight. And also, thank you so much, John. That means a lot. So, alright. So here we go. We have Disney by Matthew taking on the World Cup as the pencils, and Disney by Matthew beginning the winning be scoring the winning goal as Disney by Matthew lifts the Stanley Cup over his head to be the winner, to be the victory of the Stanley World Cup 2026. One moment. And unfortunately did not make the World Cup. Oh, that means a lot to you, Moss. I just have an absolutely amazing time sitting around and doing artwork. I've actually started doing art when I was 5 years old. Matter of fact, matter of fact, hello, Meeting Pot Pirate. So good to see you. Matter of fact, my aunt gave me a pack of Play-Doh when I was 2 years old, and my mother be like, Tony, that's gonna be a snack for later, so no Play-Doh for you. Next thing you know, I'm ripping open that Play-Doh, and I'm actually sculpting, a few hearts, and I ended up making like a humanoid, a humanoid and I ended up making a humanoid after fiddling with the Play-Doh for a few days. So before my mother went to work and I went to daycare, she would give me a bunch of Play-Doh to play with, and that's how I spend my mornings. So here's Disney by Matthew making the winning skull. Woo! So after you do draw Disney by Matthew making his Stanley World Cup shot, what else would you like me to draw? If not, I can go back to the Gimbal Memorial. Sometimes when I'm drawing a hockey player's outfit, it looks more like Mr. Rogers because of like how you would wear a tie and a sweater. So it's a beautiful day in the hockey field, a beautiful day on the hockey field. Won't you be my goalie? And yes, we can definitely draw It's a Small World in the Hollywood Tower Hotel, replacing It's a Small World in Shanghai Disneyland, because rumor has it that an entire Tangled attraction is going to be replacing the the reason being is that the entire Tangled attraction there's going to be a Tangled attraction actually replacing It's a Small World in Disneyland Tokyo. Rumor has it it's going to be a drop tower and it's going to be 50 feet high. So for every floor, every floor is going to represent a nation. It's going to represent a nation. That's what I'm last told. And construction starts probably in 2030. Who knows? Knowing Disney. And yes, we can draw Richard with lightning between ka-chow woo. So coming up is Richard. Coming up is It's a Small Tower taking over It's a Small Disneyland Tokyo, and ka-chow, Richard. Woo, ka-chow, ka-chow, ka-chow. Mm. Mama. And also, Matthew, what is your favorite hockey number? Another trick about hockey is if you like if you if you tighten your boots a little bit too tight, you could get foot rot. But if you inverse your laces so that the laces so it's kind of hard to explain. But if you inverse your laces so that instead of being on your boot, they're actually sitting on top of your boot. It actually makes the foot rot a little easier to bear. Just as a heads up. So here is the Florida Panther and Disney by Matthew taking the winning goal. Bam, look at him. Look at that. Bam. Hello, Matt Cameron Slots. It's so good to see you. How are you doing? Next up is the Hollywood Tower Hotel, as it's a smaller clock tower. Then after that, it's gonna be Richard as Lightning McQueen. How are you doing, Matt? And also congratulations on that Fire Link jackpot the other night. This is what happens when you combine It's a Small World and the Tower of Terror into one attraction. I nearly messed up with little turrets. And also, here you go, Matthew. You got a beard. You got the beard. Whoop. We almost forgot that Disney by Matthew does have a beard. Here he is, bam. And he got himself, and here he is. He got himself the final World Cup championship. Woo! Congratulations, Matthew. You won the Wheel of Fortune and Stanley World Cup at the same time. Let's spin that reel. Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. Woo! Let's see what we're going to win. Ding, 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 Matthew. You got yourself a 1 million smackaroonies. Woo! That is. And the Hollywood Tower Hotel, as it's a small one after all. This is what happens when you combine your two favorite attractions into the best thing on the planet. And I'm curious, Matthew. Yeah, when were you? Yeah, it's just for future reference. But when did you shave your beard? Yep, this is the Hollywood Tower Hotel, and it's a small clock tower at the same time. Oh my gosh, I can't get enough of this as I'm just drawing it. It's a world of laughter, a world of tears. It's a world of hopes and a world of fears. There's so much that we share that it's time that we were. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. Here it is. You are now the passengers of the most uncommon boat ride, about to board the boat ride into your deepest, darkest nightmare of earworms in eternity, of eternal earworms and catchy tunes. Sweet, that's so awesome to hear. That's so awesome to hear, Matt. And Firelink was definitely on fire that night. And boo you, Lightning Link, boo you. Also, big boo you to Huff and even more Puff. I can't get a hard hat or mansion feature for nothing. So, it's a small world. After all, it's there is just one moon and one golden sun, and a smile means friendship to everyone. The mountains that divide and the oceans that are wide, it's a small world after all. That's so neat. That's so neat to hear, Matt. I actually did winnable seeing that super buzzsaw at the end. And also I'm curious for Huff and Puff. I'm wondering, do you ever get a feeling or any energy when a machine is going to be a good machine by chance? here is what the Hollywood Tower Hotel looks like if it was It's a Small World at the same time. Oh my gosh! I love this. Oops, I messed this up. There it is. The It's a Small World Hollywood Tower Hotel. It's definitely really a tough mat. The more features a machine has, the tougher it seems to be. And yep, I wouldn't stay on it either. If I still went at Huff and Puff, I wouldn't be staying at the machine either. And also, and one moment, everybody, be right back. Back, we just had to clear off a lag monster. And yes, I can definitely draw you and Joy coming up next with you in the Hollywood Tower Hotel after we draw the Richard Ka-chow, Legend Richard and Lightning McQueen coming up after this. So this is what happens when you combine the Hollywood Tower Hotel and It's Small into the same thing. You get the best thing on the planet. The Hollywood Tower is a small thingy. And I nearly forgot its pedestal. Oops. And the medulla. Because the medulla has a pedestal. Thank you so much, Jalen. That means a lot. Last time I was at Disneyland, when I was at Disneyland, there's a small clock tower broke down. The dolls were just sitting there on the pedestal, and the clock tower did not open the doors to show the case to Parade of Nation for the rest of my trip, which was a huge bummer. So that is, it's a small world tower and a facade, because a tower is not complete without at least some facade. Like it's a small facade. Here it is. This is a tower facade thingy. Hello, welcome to Beyond Borders. Hello, it's so good to see you. How are you doing? You came just in time for us to finish up the Hollywood Tower Hotel. It's small clock tower. And you know what I really love is just sitting around and combining my two favorite attractions into one, which actually literally makes my entire evening. Oh, and I almost forgot that a Hollywood Tower Hotel facade is not complete without a service elevator. Because why not? You gotta have a service elevator with the It's a Small facade, especially when it comes to Tower of Terror. I know. So I'm curious, would anybody ride the It's a Small Tower of Terror attraction by chance? If so, please let me know. I would love to ride it with somebody. So here it is. The It's a Small Tower of Terror facade thingy. That's our dude, Gizmo. Definitely, let's ride it. It's a small town. And instead of going on a nice gentle boat ride, you get plummeted to 13 stories, large 13 stories every single nation. It'd be like the Parade of Nations, but being dropped and launched. So there you have the It's a Small World thingy. And Rock Me Round Boat says, I have road mission breakout. I am torn between which I like better, Tower Town, and I'm curious, Welcome Beyond Borders, I'm curious, Welcome Beyond Borders, what do you like about Mission Breakout? For me, I ended up writing in the very first roll, and I ended up getting the biggest lag monster, which means that the gimbal went kaput and literally broke. So here we have a Lightning McQueen and a Richard coming on up. Because Disney is not complete. With a 95, let's get it done. 95, get it done. Now I got the song Life is a Highway stuck in my head from the Disneyland Paint Night Parade. Unfortunately, Paint Night is going away. Unfortunately, Paint Night is going away on August 9th and getting replaced with the Mickey Mouse Boo to You Parade, which is really unfortunate because I'm not sure if Paint Night is going to return after this holiday season. The Disneyland 70th season is getting taken down and replaced with Halloween decorations this year, which is kind of sad. You know what's really interesting about the Disneyland 70th anniversary last season is it actually had so that the 70th anniversary would be rethemed in Halloween colors. This way you can celebrate the 70th anniversary and Halloween at the same time. Oh my gosh, I know, Matthew. I never booked it. I never got the patent. I never got the surprise package. And yep, I did break my gimbal, broken in half. It got broken in half. And you know how my gimbal broke. You know how my gimbal broke. I was cleaning up my place and I thought I dropped this, but it was the gimbal inside, so it broke. The gimbal broke. Mama Medulla. And I'm curious, walking beyond borders. What do you like about? I'm curious. Do you have any favorite things about Disney California or Disneyland in general? I really wish our trips overlapped. Mama Medulla. That's so awesome, Jalen. That you do like McQueen. That's like Pirates Kachow. Woo! Super Kachows with the McQueen. Here is what a McQueen looks like. Same here, walking beyond borders. I really do enjoy myself some Radiator Springs. And when it comes to Radiator Springs, my dream would be to ride it at night. To ride it at night. Unfortunately, I only got to ride it during the daytime due to long wait times, and I had to get in Mission Breakout before. And also, Richard, I do apologize. You're gonna have extra long arms today. But this is Richard getting ready for the race day. Sorry, Richard, I messed up your arms. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up everything. Oh, thank you so much, Richard. And I would like to meet you two amusement park pirates in October. First week of October is Disneyland. First week of October is Disneyland. Second week of October is I don't know land. Third week of October is I don't know. Fourth week of October is Halloween land. First week of November is I don't know. And that's how my year goes so far. Richard, the man of the plan. There you go. And also, speaking of which, in December, I would really love to be able to meet you and come to the December Disney World mini meetup bash. That'd be amazing, especially if I can meet everybody. And I definitely want to make sure to make it down if I can. I'd so love to meet everybody, and I'd so love to spend time in the parks with everybody too. Hello, Monique. It's so good to see you. Woo! So here we got ourselves a Kachow, a super Kachow, Richard, going down the highway 65, 66, going off to on the way to the Highway Tower Hotel. And here's some Sangoish cactuses with some blooms. So there it is. Kachow. Whoop! Here goes Richard. Going once, going twice. And here he is. He's completed the 500 loop of the Formula 500. Lightning McQueen. Look at that. We got a winner, chicken dinner. I almost forgot to draw the finish line. Finish. Thank you thank you so much. Thank you so much, John. I just It actually took me years of practice to be able to get this good. I started drawing when I was 5 years old. I did not start streaming my art until I was like 18, and it took me forever to figure out this art form. So here we have a Richard going ka-chow down Formula 500 on the way to Disneyland. Going ka-chow on the way to Disneyland with Lightning McQueen. Bam! And a little chicken dinner. Let's have an entire potluck feast of chicken noodle soup, potato, chicken salad, chicken sandwiches, chicken stew, chicken gumbo, you name it, we got the chicken. Thank you so much, thank you so much, Richard. Not sure what's going on in my voice, but the extra long arms, and the extra long legs is how Richard and McQueen won the race, allegedly. So let's see what other drawing requests did we get today? And we're definitely locked in to Mission Breakout. So does anybody have any other live art requests? Hello, Timothy. So good to see you. John says to do a chicken stuffed chicken. So see you around Amusement Park Pirates. I hope you have a wonderful dinner of chicken stuffed dinner. So here it is. And some moo cows for dinner. Moo that old MacDonald had a farm. He wondered where the animals went. Then he went to the dinner table and his jaw dropped. So poor old MacDonald wondered what happened. But he had a really delicious dinner. Allegedly. Chicken wing, hot dogs and bologna. Eating macaroni with my homie. The first time I heard that song was I was walking out of the gas station in Alabama, and my cashier friend, he had that song on his ringtone. Every 50 minutes, his phone would go off and be like, chicken wings, hot dogs and bologna, eating macaroni with my homie. So here is a chicken stuffed chicken just for you. Alright, so I'm curious, Amusement Park Pirates, what are you eating for dinner, and what is everybody having for the dinner or the meal? Here is a chicken stuffed chicken. And here's a chicken. Here is an infinite stuff. Here is an infinite stuffed chicken. I'm not sure why, but I just scream a lot. I just scream. So here's the infinite stuffed chicken. Canyon Launcher and this chicken is getting ready to launch into the Big Top Circus. Hello, Amusement Park Pirates. Hello, in Park Days. Hello, Monique. Good to see ya. And yes, that's right, Matthew, George, and I in Hollywood Tower Hotel, which is the best thing on the planet. Besides stuffed chicken inside of chicken, inside of chicken, inside of chicken. So this is where chicken. As you may recognize, is not a service elevator. However, what you may recognize is chicken. Is a chicken stuffed inside of a chicken, 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 getting ready, getting ready to launch directly to the Twilight Zone. And also, I'm curious, Robin, but what's a turducken? I know that sometimes they stuff a turkey inside of a chicken and a fish inside of a turkey and a turkey inside of a cow. Mama Dula. So, alright, so here we go. We got Joy Asia getting ready to go to the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And what was that noise? What was that noise? Tower is where the stars go and play all day long. And do you know that when it comes to the Hollywood Tower Hotel, one of the most popular dishes from like 19 from one of the most popular dishes one of the most popular dishes from the 1917s. Okay, let's about a hotel, why not? So one of the most popular dishes from the 1917s that was actually, I believe, it was served inside of the Hollywood Tower Hotel is a turtle duck dish. It's where you steam a turtle and you serve it with duck. And that was actually a very popular royalty dish, especially if you were at a luxury hotel like the Hyatt Tower Hotel before it went kaput. And when the Hyatt Tower Hotel went kaput, down all its luxury dishes and all its tasty, delicious food. So that's why I wish I could time travel and go to the Hyatt Tower Hotel when it used to have a lot of delicious food, flower tops, and I would definitely spend my entire time at the Hyatt Tower Hotel if I could. I'd spend my time just sitting in the hotel, sitting in its lobby, sitting in its lounge, wherever I could sit down, I'd sit. Especially if I could spend it in the hotel. Especially if I could spend my time inside the Medulla, which is the Hollywood Tower Hotel. This is what I think the Hollywood Tower Hotel looks like from the 1917s. And thank you so much, Matthew, for the reminder. And what's interesting about the hotel is it used to have flower pots. Long lived Hollywood Tower Hotel before its flower pots got destroyed and the plants were kaput too. So imagine being a plant inside of an abandoned hotel for 50 years and all of a sudden the hotel magically reopens. That'd be one heck of a rude awakening, especially if you were a plant that could hibernate for 50 or 70 years. I do believe that there's a special tree in the jungle that can actually lay dormant for upwards of 100 years, and then when moisture comes out and about, when the tree gets moisturized or gets some sunlight, the tree comes back to life. That's why I last heard about a tree that can just magically regenerate. Kind of like a video game that can just regenerate. Mama Medulla. Yep, we're definitely living up this Gimbal celebration of life, allegedly. So sometimes when I draw the hotel, I get so into the hotel that I forget to draw the people who are staying at the hotel. So I promise Matthew and Georgia, I'm going to draw you at the hotel. Not just a bunch of hotel and a whole lot of nothing. This whole minute, you know what's really interesting? Is you begin to realize just how massive this hotel is. Is you begin to realize just how massive this hotel is when you start drawing it. And especially when you start putting people next to it. I'm not sure why, but I always think that the hotel is a very tiny little medulla until I realize just how big it is in real life. And I really wish I could actually be in the Highway Tower Hotel, not just get dropped by itself as elevators. And honestly, if I could, I'd live in the Highway Tower Hotel. Especially if I could get the penthouse suite, I would live there all day and all night long. If only I had a time machine, and if only this hotel was an actual hotel. I'd be living the life, just living it up, one day at a time until 1939, and then I go running away from the hotel. Poof, I'm gone. I stand rather corrected. We shall all take a seat right now. Everybody, what you're doing right now, please take a seat as we give this gimbal a celebration of life. Wah, wah, wah. But now, we're back to drawing the High Tower Hotel. Because when it comes to the High Tower Hotel, look at this. Just look at it. that'll really get going is the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Is the Hollywood Tower Medulla, which is the best thing on the planet. So here's what the medulla looks like before it spontaneously turned into a Twilight Zone tower. This is how you draw the medulla. So they have the medulla, mama medulla. And Robin's asking, I want to know which one of you sipped an energy drink. So that's a good question. I wonder who is having energy drinks tonight since it's Sunday night. And most people have work in the morning except for me. Or most people. I'm not sure what I'm saying anymore, but I'm saying stuff. So here's Joy Isa. Oops. Some jewelry. Here's what Joy Isa looks like in the 1917s. So same with Disney with Matthew. Most of my references come from the Carousel of Progress. I was going to put a watch on both characters, but back in the 1970s, pocket watches were more common, so here's a pocket watch. Alright, Robin is asking, no Tony, who slipped you an energy drink? That's a good question. Who gave Tony the energy drink? Let's see. Let's start taking some guesses. Let's see. Not it. Not me. Not me. No, I did not. No, I didn't give Tony energy drinks. Definitely not me. Not me. We're having my memorial. So how could it be me? I didn't give Tony an energy drink. This is my memorial. This is my memorial. This is not an energy drink sipping ceremony. So how can I give Tony energy drinks if this is my memorial and we're celebrating my memorial? Not it. Not it. Not it. No, definitely not me. Yeah. So Darren to Gimbal. Robin says that Matthew is the one who gave Tony O'Toole an energy drink. It just can't be the Gimbal. The Gimbal said it was not it. And the Park Day says it's probably Mrs. Day's. Good point too. We have Matthew and Mrs. Day's. Oh, we have another confession. No, I did not give Tony a single energy drink. You see me? My hands are too tiny to go to the energy drink freezer, open the door up, give Timmy, no Tony, an energy drink. Not me. And I can barely walk. Not walk, but I can barely. But I just don't have the wingspan or the arm span to give Tony O'Toole an energy drink. I promise. Okay, so definitely not the plushie. Moving on. Alright, let's see who else. Let's see who else gave Tony energy drink. Goofy, did you give Tony energy drink? Oh, ouch. That was an energy foot. No. I've just been sitting here looking at the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Nope! How about Winnie the Pooh? Let's see. Does Winnie the Pooh have confession? Not me. I've been sleeping and thinking about honey and Huffalumps. Definitely not Pooh. What about Beth? Beth. Oh, and there goes Beth. Definitely not Beth because Beth just disappeared into Twilight Zone. And Pooh Bear, he's had enough honey for the day, so here he is. So, and did I just break the tripod? Alright. That's the only walking behind borders that we had the Osmosis 6 gimbal. Unfortunately, I have the Osmosis 0 gimbal. It broke. So where do you get your gimbal? So back to the artwork. So let's see what the heck's going on. Robin says, better warn Mrs. Days. Delaney has enough energy without an energy drink. I seen that child sipping on monsters and it was an energy overload. So I'm curious, when I was sipping Monster Energy drink, how was I overloaded with energy? I didn't really feel much. I just really like the taste of monsters. But a Monster Energy drink does get me really going and hyped for a day at the parks. And I just really just love sipping on Monster Energy drinks. When I'm in the parks, I usually don't do Monster Energy drinks in my day-to-day life. This way I can have more moolah for food in the parks and treats. And also another thing for me personally is I have to be very, very careful not to burn myself out with caffeine. So that's why I only do monsters when I'm in the parks. It's definitely Mrs. Days who gave Tony Hotel the final monster drink of the evening. This is definitely not the final rose ceremony. Oh wait, this is not the Bachelor. This is definitely not the Bachelor. And what's really interesting about the 1920s hotels is like the lobby is that the lobby area. Let me show you this. Is that this lobby area right there is a carport. And it's a really big discrepancy between this thingy right there, where you go to into the queue, is that it's actually a foot off the ground, 2 feet off the ground, a story off the ground, but yet in this billboard makes sense. Is that the carport? Is that this thingy is literally on the ground and only has one layer of hotel, but yet the actual hotel has 2 layers of hotel. And how can this be a carport if it's like a foot off the ground like this? Hello, BDF, it's so good to see you. How are you doing? Woo! So you came just in time for the Hollywood Tower Hotel in the 1970s, the 1997s. Mama Medulla. Hi, I'm officially out of breath. But don't worry, when I'm in Disney World, I'm actually gonna be doing I'm actually gonna be in the Magic Kingdom on June 3rd, 2026, and we'll be going all day long from 2 p.m. to the final paint night. No, it's Starlight Parade. And then when you get to the final Starlight Parade, we're going to be walking out of the park and seeing and getting the heck out of Dodge. After that, we're going to be in Hollywood Studios on Thursday. Before that, we got SeaWorld on June 2nd. And on the 1st, we're going to Epcot. June 1st, we're going to Epcot. And on the 6th, I would definitely love to meet Mrs. and Mr. Days from In the Park Days. That'd be amazing to meet you all. To meet you on the 6th, that'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Please and thank you. So here it is. Hello, Debbie. It's so good to see you. Does anybody have any other art requests? We got ourselves Disney by Matthew and Joasia enjoying a 1917 evening at the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Woo! And that's right in the Park Days. I would so love to meet you. So love to meet y'all. I would love it. And thank you so much in the Park Days in advance for such an epic ferry. An epic ferry. I've never seen Universal or Epic Universe in my entire life. But I would love to see the Velocicoaster in person. I would love to see Islands of Adventure. And of course, I would love to see Jurassic World. That's right, we got ourselves from iHeart Disney, aka Robin, Big Brother, Big Bear, Big Brother Fox, got it. And yes, we can draw New York City from across the sun of America. So I'm curious, has anybody seen Soaring Through America quite yet? I can do that next, Walking Beyond Borders. And speaking of Oswald, what's really amazing about Oswald is that in Disneyland, instead of having the fingerprint scanner, it has a face recognition kiosk. And after you get your face scanned, Mickey Mouse waves to you when you go into Disneyland. But when you go into Hollywood, when you go into Disney California Adventures, you actually can see Oswald waving at you. That is one of the very few places that you can see Oswald and Mickey Mouse at the same time. So let's go get ourselves some Someone Over New York, then Brother Rabbit. Then Oliver the Lucky Rabbit and Mickey Mouse. New York City, sewing across America. Not bad sewing across America. That'd be painful. And definitely we can do the Tip Top Club after this. You in the Tip Top Club from Monique. So here's Sewing Across America Disney Edition. So this is, as you may recognize, is a platform. This, as you may recognize, is an iconic statue. Do you know that the Statue of Liberty does not have pupils? So we're not going to be drawing pupils. There was a time when I was in fifth grade, and they actually had a play about Lady Liberty gone missing, and we literally had to go through American history and monuments to find out where Lady Liberty was hiding. When I was, of all things, I was actually a phone that was saying about fossil fuel. That play, when I think about it, was more like an advertisement for fossil fuel. But I actually had a really, but back in fifth grade, I actually had a really good time being a singing and swinging phone. And one thing I remember was on the very final performance, I accidentally was swaying a little bit too much, and somebody was like, can you move over a little bit? That's all I remember from the play, is me being asked to move over, me being asked to move over by an inch. Really strange with the medulla remembers, which is, and you know that the medulla is actually for long-term memory in the human brain, not the Hollywood Tower Hotel. I'm not sure, but I always call the medulla, the Hollywood Tower Hotel, a medulla. So here is a famous statue holding a torch, not a torch. Do you know that the Statue of Liberty used to be gold? Used to be gold, copper, until it got oxidized and was but literally rusted. So here's a Statue of Liberty. I know I got a medulla stuck in my head, and I can't get the medulla out of my head because it goes, Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. Here we go, and I see you around Mrs. and Mr. Days. It was so good seeing you. I hope you have a fantastic evening, a fantastic night. I do see you around Mr. Days. I do apologize. I always get people's names confused. So, Soaring Across America wouldn't be complete without some outrage, which is the ninth wonder of the world. Outrage, and the 10th wonder of the world, some socks. So, this is how you're going to draw Soaring Across America. As I forgot that you gotta have shoes. Blue jeans. So this is a scene from Someone Across America, especially if you're in top row. So whatever you do, put all your shoes and flip flops inside of Robin's lounge flies, or forever have regrets. I think Robin might need a bigger lounge fly. So let's back up the bus and see what else we're gonna be drawing tonight. We got Brother Rabbit, Brother Bear, and Brother Fox. Got it. And then we're gonna get Mickey and Oswald from Walking Beyond Borders. Aww. And I really want to thank everybody for sticking around tonight. I know we started a little bit late, but we're back at it. Brother Bear, Brother Rabbit, Baby Shark, and Brother Fox. Baby Shark, do 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 do, Baby Shark, do 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 do, Baby Shark. That's why I remember what Brother Bear. That's like, I actually have not heard a Brother Bear before. And that's so awesome, Robin. I'm curious, but where do you get your 50 lounge fly from? Oh no, not Baby Shark. I promise not Baby Shark no more. That is so wild that the music composer Bruce Bronson, who did Spaceship Earth, replaced the original music composer Jerry Goldstein. I'm curious, but when did the music get replaced? And I'm also wondering, Robin, where did you get Tower of Terror, Loud Fly by chance? Boop. They actually still have a Tower of Terror Loud and Fly in the gift shops. I've actually seen it on one of them in the Park Days live streams as a Tower of Terror Loud and Fly thingy from the gift shop. And thank you so much, Robin. This is my very first time drawing Brother Bear. Oopsies. I do apologize for the slight for the stuffing. Here comes a bull fox. I did not realize that this was bull fox. And I almost forgot the rabbit. Are these characters from Splash Mountain? I thank you so much, Matt, for letting me know. I've actually not seen I've actually not seen Songs of the South before. All I know that these characters were originally from Splash Mountain, and I didn't know that Splash Mountain was based off Songs of the South. I do remember hearing the song Zippity Doo Dah Zippity Dee. My oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine, there's a bluebird on my shoulder, allegedly. That's the one song I do remember from Splash Mountain, which is actually a huge psychological relief. During after I did my very first drop on Splash Mountain, I was when I first rode Splash Mountain, I was absolutely terrified. I was absolutely terrified when I first rode Splash Mountain, especially with the 60-foot plunge. And speaking of which, it actually felt like I was on Splash Mountain when riding Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland, due to the fact that the pirates do have to go underneath the railroad, and it made it for a total of 60 feet worth of drops, which terrified the heck out of me. And I did not realize that Songs of the South came out in 1946. And I'm curious, Robin, what Songs of the South about? And oh, thank you so much, Robin. Woo! I would so love a tower a tower of Loungefly, please and thank you. That'd be amazing. That's definitely up in the pipe dreams. Is a Hollywood tower Loungefly. I would so love it so much. Same with the tower bellhop hat someday. A bunch of my dreams. Alright, so here next up for Walking Beyond Border is the drumroll, please. Oswald and Mickey Mouse. What's really sad about Oswald is that Oswald only made his appearance in the game Epic Mickey. What happened to dim the lights on Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is that Walt Disney is that one of the Universal directors literally stole Oswald from underneath Walt Disney by literally just saying that and tricking Walt Disney into signing a contract which gave over Universal Studios all the production rights and animators to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Rumor has it is that Walt Disney came up with Mickey Mouse on a train ride home, but knowing most of Walt Disney stories, they have like a deeper meaning to them, and and the backstory goes way deeper, especially since Walt Disney was a business person. So he literally came up with Mickey Mouse on a train ride home. His wife was like, Walt, you shouldn't be naming Mickey Mouse Motus Mouse. You should be naming him Mickey Mouse or something more cheerful." I didn't know that was what songs this stuff was about, and I actually do remember seeing a songs this off VCR cassette in my grandmother's storage unit. Unfortunately, it was melted. I opened up the case and literally a bunch of the VCR just like started like fickling up. It had not melted, but it had dry rotted. So that went to VCR. That's the last thing I remember seeing from the song to South VCR. Is that I got dry rotted in the storage unit. Another thing notable about Oswald and the only Mickey Mouse is that he does not have gloves. And I would really love to see if Disney put in some hidden Oswalds in the theme parks. Oswald was actually revived in in the 2010 Epic Mickey games, which actually got me into Disney itself. There was I was actually browsing around on YouTube, and lo and behold, I found myself. I forgot where that monorail thought was. But what's really wild is I actually found myself in a video guide by Game Radar that actually was explaining how its small clock tower turned evil in the Epic Mickey gaming franchise. So lo and behold, that's how I got into Disney with through Epic Mickey and It's a Smaller Clock Tower back in 2014. Another interesting fact about the Epic Mickey franchise is that the Disney animators will like show you can use Mickey Mouse, but as long as you practice reanimating a few of the Mickey cartoons, this way you can get a really good sense of how to animate Mickey Mouse during the gameplay and how to get your characters correct. So that was like the very first Mickey Mouse and Oswald the Lucky Rabbit appearance in like 80 years. And that's why I just really love the Epic Mickey game. Even though I could barely get through the first level, I just love seeing it. And I would really love to get that game again, only for the Wii console to have broke. We ended up getting getting rid of the Wii console after it can no longer support Netflix or the internet. So they went to Wii, the Wii went kaput. So no more Wii. Another thing about the original Mickey is that his overalls were blue and he didn't have two dots right there. So here you got yourself a Oswald and Mickey Mouse Walking Beyond Borders. Aww. And yes, Monique, I can draw you in the Tip Top Club too. Thank you so much, Robin. That is so neat that you found a DVD online. I have not seen a DVD or VHR tape of that specific movie before. And that is so neat, Matthew, that you really enjoyed Splash Mountain when you were younger. I wonder when was the very first time that you were able to ride Splash Mountain. So let's do Monique at the Tip Top Club. Here's the two of them. Whoop. So here you go, Monique, at the Tip Top Club of the best thing on the planet, the Hollywood Tower Hotel. What's the best thing on the planet? Oh, thank you so much for walking. And everybody, let's sing along. The Hollywood Tower Hotel is the best thing on the planet. Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. I can't get enough of this medulla. So here's Monique in the cupola of the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Oops, I already messed this up. Moving on. Moving on. Oh my gosh. Sometimes when you mess up, you mess. You really messed up. And definitely walking me around. Definitely not I can draw you making salty. And when I'm doing right after this one too. Here's Monique in the 19. Here's what Monique. I think Monique would look like in the 1917s. I do see Monique as a princess. Much better now we're talking. This is the Hollywood Tower Hotel cupola. Oh my gosh, I can't draw tonight. I can't draw. I can't draw for nothing. When you wish upon a star, the Hollywood Tower Hotel is the best thing on the planet. I actually do see the Hollywood Tower Hotel as Disney World's second castle. Now we're getting back on track. One step, 2 foot. Now let's all do the cha-cha slide. Here you go, Monique, at the Tip Top Club of the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Hello, Joe. So good to see you. How are you doing? So here you go. Here you go, Princess Monique. Woo! Here you go, the Hollywood Tower Hotel, which is the best thing on the planet. Oh, you're very welcome walking. So next up, we can get ourselves some Mike, Sully, and Rundown. Good to see you. And Robin, hello, welcome back to see you. Good to see you. And Robin, I will definitely send you a direct message because of that. I send you a direct message. But going back to the artwork, Let's draw ourselves some Mike and Sally. Woo! Sometimes when I'm doing my arc and things don't go and things go a little wah, I'm like, there goes my energy. It's as if I'm playing. It is as if I'm. It is as if I'm Mario and I need more mushrooms. So I gotta go get some more mushrooms from the Mushroom Kingdom. Aw, thank you so much, Monique. This is what I think of when I think of the High Tower Hotel, the Tip Top Club, and Peter Pan at the same time. Whenever I draw these kind of mystical, just like fantastical drawings, I always love to add pixie dust in the sky. This way, everything be looking a little bit more magical. And thank you so much, Mom. That means a lot to hear. As someone told you to tone it down, to tone down the energy, don't pay no mind. Tony, your fine spirit yourself to the thank you so much. Woo! That's right. That's right, Robin. When somebody be tone it down, tell me to tone it down, what we gotta do is we just gotta tone it up louder, tone it up, and just crank it up louder. That's what I want to do too. Thank you so much for the reminder, Robin. We need to hear that. And when people tell me to tone it down, we're just gonna tone it up, up, up. So alright, so here we go, Mike and Sally time. Here we go. Woo! Heck yeah. And I'm curious, Matthew, if you don't mind me asking, why did getting rid of Splash Mountain? Why do you consider that getting rid of Splash Mountain was a mistake? Alright, so going on to the Mike and Salty. Do you know that when I realized this, but if you ever ride the Monsters Inc. ride in Hollywood Studios, which is either getting replaced by Avatar or by Zootopia, what's really wild is that if you look very careful at Randall the monster, you can literally see Randall shapeshift in the Haunted Mansion wallpaper and Tinkerbell wallpaper. Hello, Blake. It's good evening to you too. How are you doing? Do you have any favorite things you would like for me to draw? Alright, so here we go. We got ourselves a Randall, a Mike, and a Sully. Yeah, for me personally, I have not ridden Tiana's quite yet, but I definitely have to see how Tiana's compares when I do ride it, hopefully in June. And I'm not, of all things, I've only ridden Splash Mountain in 2014, so I definitely got to see how both of the mountains do, both of the attractions do compare. I'm curious, but has anybody ridden Tiana's before? And if so, how do you enjoy the ride mechanics or the storyline? So here you got yourselves one Randall coming up. One Randall. Woo! Tao in June, but that's right. Tao in June. We are going to be on the Tao June 4th. If you would like to join me, we are going to be on the Tao June 4th. So if you want to be on the Tao, I'll be at Hollywood Studios and I'll be on that Tao by 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when I'm going to get in the line. It's at 6 p.m. before the fireworks. So if anybody wants to be on Tao, let me know. We're going to go. So Blake, if you would come meet me, I would love to meet you too. I just love to meet you. I'd love to meet anybody who wants to come meet me down in Hollywood Studios. And I'd love to go on tower with everybody too. That's good to know about Tiana's. That's good to know about that. That's good to know that Tiana's is also good too. I'm honestly nervous about riding Tiana's due to the drop. And when it comes to drops, I'm not a big fan of drops or splashes. Or like even the plunges on Pirates and Frozen get me so scared. I can barely not scream like a banshee when I'm riding pirates, or even Frozen After Ever in Epcot. When I'm riding Frozen, I'd be like trying not to scream like a banshee. That's good to know that hello around the hook. It's so good to see you, Nicole. How are you doing? And Robin says, Tony, the drop last 2 seconds. I timed it before. I'm curious what drop last 2 seconds. And yep, that's right, Robin. Just bring your own french fries. And the Tower of Tower watch party is on. So if anybody wants to watch the Higher Tower, let us know. And we will unfortunately not be able to provide french fries since we don't have access to a smaller vision or a food division. That's good to know that the Tiana drop only lasts 2 seconds. I thought it lasted an entire minute. I thought it lasted an entire minute, which was like as long as Mission Breakout, but not Tower of Terror. So I thought it was a 90-second drop. Nothing can stop us now, la 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 la. And also, I wish that everybody could be at the Tower of Tower watch party and the Tower of Tower right through in person. That'd be amazing. If we could all somehow magically teleport through our device and be there in person. That'd be amazing. That'd be so amazing. Mama Medulla. How are you going? How are you doing, Nicole? And thank you so much. Aww. Alright, so does anybody have any last art requests before we have to wrap it up for the evenings? And that's good to know, Robin, that people do not realize that there are smaller drops. So the first one to get to, they think it's a big one. Same with the Tower of Town, is when people first ride the Tower of Town, they do not realize that the elevator goes up the show shaft, which is right there, the show shaft. The elevator goes up the show shaft, then it stops at the hallway scene. People begin screaming, thinking that they're going to drop. It goes up another floor. Then the elevator goes across the tower, and when the elevator launches forward, most people begin screaming because they're not aware that a drop tower can go forward, especially if it's only within Guardians of the Galaxy, Mission Breakout, or the towers in Disneyland Paris or Tokyo Seas, which only have a single shaft that go up and down. So the right car goes forward. That's when people begin screaming is it think that the floor is going to drop out at any moment. However, the floor does not drop out from underneath of you until it says, "You are about to discover what lies beyond the deepest, darkest correction. You are about to discover what lies beyond the fifth dimension, beyond the deepest, darkest corners of the imagination." In the Tower of Terror, then in 3 seconds, three, two, one, the drops begin starting. You either get dropped first or you launched up first, depending on your ride profile. But here it is. But here it is. Here it is. So what's really interesting is when you're in the tower, when you're in the tower, is that on the very first big drop when the elevator on the medulla opens up, that's when they take your photo. So when you see the first burst of sunlight or the first glimpse of light or life, be like Glambot. That's when they take your photo, and it's definitely terrifying. It's definitely a very terrifying attraction, but it's not as scary as but I honestly, when it comes to Tower of Terror, I put it in the same category of It's a Small and Casey Jr.'s Circus Train. But when it comes to Tiana's, I put it in the same category as Velocicoaster. And Robin's asking, so where your thumb is at, where the elevator actually goes, or is it to the left side or the top part? So here's the Tower of Terror. This is the back side of the tower. And each of these like little things, the bloom blooms, I think they're the bloom blooms because they remind me of elephant ears, and elephant ears remind me of the word bloom bloom. So on the bloom blooms, each bloom bloom has two show models. These are the show shafts. The elevator goes up in the show shafts. Then the automated ride vehicle goes up. This is what we call vertical storytelling, not horizontal storytelling. Vertical storytelling. And the elevator then goes across the show shaft on an automated guided vehicle. Tower was Disney's second automated trackless attraction after the great movie ride, allegedly. And then this is where the elevators. This is where the good stuff is. See the city beam, and the tower ears. This is where the two drop models are located, which are more powerful than the show models. Sometimes the show models get so overloaded with guests that the entire ride stops, and the ride has to be reset. But for the show models, these models are the big, powerful ones that drop and launch your elevator in the show shaft, in the drop shaft, the medulla shaft. The biggest, meanest medulla is right there. And and also dumped a bunch of rain to in sunny-ish Colorado. So yep, Matthew, here you go. You get your big eyes on a roller coaster. Yep, you got rock and roller coaster with some big eyes. Here you go, Matthew. Whoop. Hang tight, everybody. Thank you for your patience. This will be our last drawing of the night. Unfortunately, I do have to get going. Unfortunately, I do have to get going tonight, which is going to be kind of a bummer, but I've had an absolute amazing time. And yes, I can draw autumn Muppets too. Oh, thank you so much, Robin. Another thing about Tower that you can see here, before I forget, is do you know that the red ears are where the two drop motors are, and each motor weighs 132,000 pounds. And also, you know the elevators that you ride in, which are the ride cars. Each elevator weighs 10,000 pounds, and within the tower's show shaft, actually motor show shaft and drop shaft, there's actually some called a counterweight that weighs 10,000 pounds. This way, the motors only have to drop and launch. Only have to drop and launch. Only have to drop and launch the weight of the passengers. And what's really interesting about the medulla, about the tower, is just like a regular elevator. It actually calculates the weight of the guests. This way, the tower knows how many people to drop, and this how much pressure and force to apply on the models. Unfortunately, it's been years since I took my last physics class, so I'm kind of rusty on physics. But back to the electric mayhem, which is on the fixed track. That is me with the Hollywood Tower Hotel. I just be sitting there info dumping all night and all day long. And speaking of info dumping, this is how I honestly look like whenever I find out a new Tower of Terror fact. It is as if I'm writing the electric mayhem. Hello, Jen, it's so good to see you, Jen and Mike. Woo! How are you doing? I love that you showed us around. I love that you showed us around the Magic Kingdom Castle Park, which is 3.1 miles away from the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Thank you so much, Matthew. Thank you so much, Robin. Woo! I can't get enough of the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Yeah, I do apologize if I messed up on the artwork. I've definitely lost my ability to take perspective when it comes to artwork too, unfortunately. So here's a gimbal on the rock and roller coaster. You came just in time for the very last drawing of the night. I'm so glad you made it. And I wish I didn't have to go tonight, but I do have to get going and take care of the rest of my stuff going on tonight at the house. Which is kind of unfortunate since I'm having such an amazing time with everybody right now, being right here. It really sucks when I have to it really sucks when I have to cut off a good time. I don't think I have the guts to ride the electric mayhem since it goes upside down, unfortunately. Same with like any of like the reverse launch coasters like Guardians or even Matterhorn. Hello CC, it's so good to see you. I am such a chicken when it comes to rides. I literally be sitting there by being like, all right, everybody, let's go ride the Tower of Town. Let's go ride It's Small. Let's go ride People Movers. Let's go ride Casey Jr. Circus Train. Oh, let's go ride Teacups. But everybody be like, but then I just don't have the guts to ride Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, or any of the Disney Mountain range. The only mountains I've ever ridden was the Casey Jr. Circus Train, Choo Choo Mountain. Oh, thank you so much, Richard. Aww. So that's what's been kind. So what kind of sucks is I just don't have the guts to ride any of the major mountains. I honestly put when it comes to Disney attractions and when I'm willing to ride, I put Tower of Terror in the same category as It's a Small World and a People Mover. Something about the Tower of Terror, It's a Small World, and People Mover are just very, very nice attractions to ride. So I'm curious. So for me personally, alrighty, thank you so much, Robin. Woo! I would definitely ride Big Thunder Mountain with you, but be warned, Robin, and beware of hitchhiking ghosts. Otherwise, you'll be hearing me singing "It's a Small World After All" when riding the Big Thunder Mountain thingy. And I'll be like, "Hello, monks, good to see you. Woo! How was Luminous tonight?" And yep, oh, that's so cute. That's so cute, Cece, that you like Baby Towel, aka Rise of the Resistance. So let's draw some Muppets, why not? I nearly forgot to draw the Screaming Muppets. I can barely do Baby Towel, aka Rise of the Resistance, without wanting to scream my eyes out. And that's right, Robin. Let's go ride some Big Thunder Mountain because I would not mind riding Big Thunder Mountain as long as I had a companion. That'd be so amazing. It's honestly kind of scary to think about, but we shall overcome and we shall ride Big Thunder Mountain at least once in our lifetimes. We shall definitely overcome, and we are going to ride Big Thunder Mountain. Please, everybody, keep me to that promise. Be sure to keep me to that promise to show you all Big Thunder Mountain at least once in our lifetimes, and hopefully we can bring a gimbal or phone on there. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a scream fest. Heck yeah, Robin, let's go! Woo! Let's go ride the Big Thunder Mountain. And I'm glad to hear monks. I'm wondering, have you seen your 1000th show of Luminous quite yet? And let's all ride Big Thunder Mountain. Matthew, whoever wants to come on in, let's go ride Big Thunder Mountain. Let's all go ride it. Do you know that Comet the Frog was supposed to be a lizard, and that Jim Henderson's original Comet the Frog was an actual lizard that he made out of his mother's green sweater? Not sure if you can see it, but you can see it in some sort of museum somewhere. It's not easy being green. It's not easy riding Space Mountain. It's not easy riding Tron. And that's awesome. And that's awesome to hear, monks. I really hope that you get to see Luminous in person for your three. I really hope, monks. I really hope that you get to see Luminous in person for your 1000th viewership time. I'll definitely be cheering you on for you to be in the parks too. And Robin says, Tony, I'm a lot like you when it comes to rides. I want to do Tower Tower, Rock and Roller Coasters, Mission Breakout, Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, no Tron, but I love Thunder Mountains and Tiana's. That is so good to know. That's so good to know that you would do Thunder Mountain and Tiana's. If I was to ride Tiana's, I would want to ride it with you too, Robin. This way, or anybody else who wants to come ride. This way, I wouldn't be alone. I can't do Big Thunder or Tiana's alone. Just the thought of being on Big Thunder right now gives me the goosebumps of terror. It literally feels like when I'd be riding Big Thunder Mountain, I'd be shaking, I'd be baking, I'd be a really scared potato. I'd be that. Instead of eating French fries, I literally turn into a basket of French fries shaking around the air fryer. And I can't do Guardians either, CC. I just like to shop vertical inclines. When it comes to vertical inclines, I can go up and down only, but I can't do up, over, then down. That's the most painful. that what gets me the most is when I'm literally going forward, but going vertically. And Matthew's asking, how can you do Big Thunder Mountain but not Tron? Robin says, Matthew, Tron is too high and you are on a motorcycle. LOL, Guardians looks like you're flying through space. Thunder isn't so scary. I'm honestly scared of Guardians and I'm honestly scared of Big Thunder Mountain and not Big Thunder Mountain, but Big Thunder Tron. I can't talk tonight, but I meant to say Tron. I can't be doing no Tron. Sorry, but there's no Tron for me. No Tron. Unfortunately, this is unfortunately not a Tron channel. But if you want to watch Tron, be sure to head on over to Disney Magic Mayhem, and also be sure to head over to Magic Adventures, especially if you're down for Tron. That's where you can get all your Tron from. It's Tron, 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 Tron. I can't do Tron tonight. Can you not feel the Tron as I'm screaming down the track? And I'm getting copyright busted just for singing my songs, allegedly, in my opinion. That's so scary. That's so scary that you had to evacuate on teacups. What happened with teacups? And Robin says, you can't compare Big Thunder Mountain to these two attractions. They are so much more intense. Definitely is way more intense. And I just can't get, I just can't, I just cannot do, I just can't, of all things, I can do Mission Space Orange, I can do teacups, I can do Dumbo, drop and launch Dumbo, but I can't do intense roller coaster spinning where you feel G-forces in your stomach. Oh my gosh, that really sucks, CC. So when they e-stop the teacups, were you stuck on a platform where the cups spun? Hopefully they have like a better locking mechanism on the door, just like a baby lock in the car. Same with Tower of Terror. There was a time when Tower of Terror was getting evacuated, and the fire department literally had to come and cut everybody out of their seatbelts. The ride car and the attraction wouldn't release the seatbelts since the attraction's computer thought that the ride was still going and was clamping down on the seatbelts, so everybody had to be cut out of their seatbelts. It was a nightmare. Speaking of e-stop and evacuations. And also, do you know that when you're getting evacuated from the Tower of Terror, pretend this is the ride elevator. When you ride the Tower of Terror, you enter through the... Actually, let me do a demo. You actually enter through the front of the elevator, and then you sit like right on the elevator. The elevator takes you and just drops you on. But if you get stuck in the fifth dimension scene, aka the automated guidance vehicle scene, the cast members actually come and open the door from the side door, so you can leave from the side of the ride vehicle instead. That's how they evacuate the fifth dimension scene. But if you get really unlucky and you get stuck in the drop shaft, they sometimes have to get a fire department to come on inside the town, and what they do is they have everybody climb on top of the ride vehicle. Then they take you from the top of the ride vehicle and take you down down a little bucket onto the ground level of the tower. It can take hours if you're stuck in drop shaft during an evacuation. So whatever you do, try not to get stuck in the Tower of Town. Try not to toss map sunglasses or any loose articles onto the fifth dimension floor because kabam, the ride goes e-stops. Alright. Robin says, monks, if you really, 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 really value your kneecaps, I wouldn't try it. So let's see, what should we not try? Alright, so I get the impression that if you want to keep your kneecaps intact, don't see the 1,000 Shrine of Luminous in person. Got it. Oof. Teacups can be another beef. Teacups can definitely be a whole nother beast. One moment, everybody just had to refresh some stuff. Mama Medulla, so. Oh, come on, why is my phone doing this? I told you what's going on with this tripod back. We're back. Hopefully you can hear us. So, what's really, really, really rough about teacups is that you are basically outside spinning, but with Mission Space, if you keep looking forward, if you keep looking forward, the environment actually goes where you're going. So that's how you can do mission space, even if you can't do teacups. But I would not recommend mission space if you can't do teacups, unless you're very, very brave. All right, so hello, John. It's so good to see you. Well, unfortunately, I do have to get going for the evening. But how are you doing, Johns? And anybody who just came on in, do you have one last out request? And that's awesome to hear, Matthew, that you can do Guardians of the Galaxy. Unfortunately, that's a big nope for me. That's how you get a red X and voted off the island, or even voted off America's Got Talent. If you try putting me in Guardians, Tron, or even Hyperspace Mountain. And have a good night too, Gizmo. It's so good to see all of you tonight. Woo! Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. That means the absolute world. Woo! Alright, so does anybody have any last things they wish to say? And I know, nope, we cannot live without kneecaps, that's right. So be sure to keep please before we go, be sure to keep your hands and feet inside of your kneecaps at all times. And also don't forget to fasten your seatbelts and pull on the yellow strap, especially if you have kneecaps. Yep, Robin says when your young ones get older, you see what older folks mean about not being able to ride these things like we did before. That's very true, especially if it does involve a lot of motion. And whenever you go to the parks, my biggest message is it is okay to say no to an attraction. It's okay to turn down a ride, even if the rest of your group wants you to ride. You can say no, no, no. I'm not riding that ride. I'll be waiting in the gift shop. I'm not doing all these rides. I don't want to ruin my trip. Totally fine, totally valid. And for me personally, it does take me a lot of practice saying nope, nope, nope. Especially when it comes to roller coasters. It was so nice to see all of you tonight. Woo! And I will see you around, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic time. And we are going to Disney World.